Alright guys, welcome back to the Demacia Cup. We had a brief delay thanks to untimely bug splat, but the casters don't appear too daunted by this. No paper bags though this time, it's all serious mode, huh Soldra? Oh,
yeah, it doesn't look looks like we won't have any paper bags today. You know, I think, you know, obviously the bug splat might have been a slightly serious issue, so they wanted to remove any kind of inhibitions to their vision in order to solve those problems. But I assume I don't know if the game will be remade. I hope the game is not being remade. But I assume that
would really be rough. Oh, they are.
Oh my goodness.
That's unfortunate, and this gives a complete chance back to VG.S, and they ban away the Jacks right off the bat. Oh man, what a turn of events.
No, wait, no. Energy Pacemaker carries was on blue side the other time.
Yeah, they were. Are they remaking the entire series?
No. This is just going to game 3.
Oh, so they just automatically decide?
Yeah, I assume that they gave the victory to Energy Pacemaker carries.
Boy.
Okay. Yeah. So, which I think is fine. Energy Pacemaker carries
did, but
yeah, they did deserve. They wouldn't have.
Well, they were definitely ahead, but that's not a guaranteed win. It might be a bit controversial, but we'll see how this game number 3 shakes out. Lee Sin, first pickup right now. He made it through the pick ban phase this time.
Yeah, Aimee's Lee Sin is fairly good. I've seen him play the champion before, and I think that, you know, Aimee, more than some of the other LSPL junglers, is a lot more creative when he gets his champions. Especially, you know, like Bootping will play like the standard junglers, like he plays. A lot of dude likes to play Rengar. He plays a lot of Jarvan 4 champions that do well with, you know, that synergize well with his solo laners. But you know, Aimee's the kind of guy that likes to make plays, that likes to get his solo laners ahead, and we could see that in game 1 of this set, in which Vici Gaming S so dominantly, you know, proclaimed their victory over the side of Energy Pacemaker carries. But now it looks like, because V, with his Jax, was able to dominate the entirety of the last match, this game is all evened up and going into what will be the deciding match between these two teams.
The
winner, of course, will
face. Going to be on carry this time.
Yeah, I hope so. And the winner, of course, will face the winner between the Invictus Gaming and Starhorn Royal Club set,
which we'll see after this conveniently.
Which we will see right after this.
Now, bot lane firmed up for Vici. They've got themselves a Tristana and that Nami. Of course,
right,
Braum has been favored a lot by Supercat.
Yeah, and I think this is a good choice. Braum Supercat is actually very good. And just, you know, choosing your bot lane early and making sure you get that strong lane ensures that Sin's, you know, Avenger played very well on that Tristana in game 1, so it ensures that Avenger will be able to survive through lane and be relevant in the mid to late game. Well, the early to mid game, and it also leaves your solo laners up for later. Just because we don't really see what kind of composition Energy Pacemaker carries has, you really want to try to, you know, get them to show at least a little bit of their hand before locking in any choices for your top and middle lanes. And it does look like we're going to see the jungle Rengar as well as the Corki. So this really looks like, you know, Booping is going to
engage.
Yeah, Booping is really going to want to make plays early, and then either in the middle or bottom lane when he hits level 6, and then they'll want to translate that into an early dragon. Alternatively, if Booping is not able to make any plays, he should be warding well and using the amount of early game pressure, especially coming from low loaders Corki, to dominate the early dragon fights and hopefully snowball up to a win. But on the other side, we have Shyvana and Syndra, which I think is a good answer, because, you know, Shyvana and Syndra as champions do very well against, you know, the surprise gank pressure that comes out from a combo like Orianna Rengar.
Likewise, on the other side, you have V looking to hover that Dr. Mundo pickup. This would be a pretty standard matchup in general. Do they have any other options, though? They could go for the Rise, but then they are out of tank, and it looks like they just go with it.
Yeah, so it looks like they are going to go for the Rise. I do think that the Rise would have been a slightly better pick, but I'm not, you know, I don't think Dr. Mundo is a very viable champion. He's very strong right now. The reason why we saw a resurgence of Dr. Mundo play in the past 2 or 3 weeks is specifically because of the ascendance of, you know, double AP composition, specifically with the Lulu or the Gragas or the Kale in the top lane. But we've seen before that Gragas does very well against Dr. Mundo, but since there's no Gragas on the side for carry on the side of VG Gaming X, it looks like V is going to be completely fine with I don't even know what Dr. Mundo is. Is he a doctor? Is he a Mundo?
I don't know if he has his doctorate degree, but he certainly refers to himself that way.
His PhD. What do you think? Dr. Mundo has a PhD in finance, business?
Well, it's he has a business degree. That's clearly the case because he throws briefcases at people. But I think his doctorate is in causing pain.
Okay.
If I had to guess, can you get a doctorate in masochism?
I'm sure in certain.
I was not in that program. It's certain. Oh man, I'm not sure if I want to visit those countries.
I think most of them are not, I wouldn't recommend you take a trip to some of those universities. I would fear I care about you too much to let you go, Pyro.
I appreciate it, Soldier. All right. Well, we're going to be getting into the third game. Bit of a controversial call, however. A lot of issues have abounded, and we finally get to see the thrilling conclusion of VG Gaming S versus Energy Pacemaker Carries. Oh, Soldier, get excited, man. No Draven this time,
though. Both of these teams, I think, have the potential to really close this game out in a hurry because, again, just the way that this meta works, I think that the way that both of these teams play, if you're a member of VG Gaming S, if you get either your AD carry or mid lane fed, so in this situation your Syndra or your Tristana fed, then you're going to be in very good position to start sieging down turrets. Alternatively, the member for the side of Energy Pacemaker Carries, EP.C, they don't have really that many outstanding players, even though V did give us a class act, a very nice performance on Jax in the last game. But they do have a lot of really strong early game champions, so hopefully both of these teams show us something special, and I guess my stream paused for a little bit, but I guess one team will come out on top.
See who it ends up being, though. We've still got this last game to play out before the clash between the LPL teams later on in the day. Vici looked a little stronger in the first game. I feel like even though they had stumbling blocks in game 2, they still could have closed that one out had they managed to shut down the Jax. Now they don't have to deal with that in the top lane. Game should be a lot more even considering there isn't as much hyper carrying going on. I think we go back to that bot lane being the featured matchup.
Yeah, I mean, the bottom lane really is more than a featured matchup. I think it's about can Supercat and who is the AD carry of Energy Pacemaker Carries? Oh, yeah, sorry. Can Supercat and Love Letter keep the 300 Avengers, the lane of the 300 Avengers down?
This is seriously like a movie script that we're reading off of, or name
idea. Could you imagine, it's like King Leonidas and the 300 Captain Americas all charging down?
That would be the weirdest crossover.
Thermopylae.
Might make money though.
Might make a lot of money.
There, Soldra.
Anyways, so really, it's about keeping that Avenger lane down, and if you can effectively seal Avenger, then you're really giving yourself an advantage, and you're really putting yourself in a position to win the game. However, we all know how hard it is to seal that 300 Avengers lane. I mean, they are a very, very good lane. I think they would be competitive. Not only are they competitive in the LSPL, I think that lane would be competitive in the LPL as well, in the highest level of Chinese gameplay, especially where the AD carry and support lane, the duo lane for every single team is really, really strong.
Well, this is the first time we're seeing 300 on something besides Thresh today. He was known for really interesting picks prior to this. I think he was one of the first to do LeBlanc support in China, which has been sort of like that off-meta but not really pick. So he definitely knows how to go for the juggler killer instinct, but Nami is a different fish.
Nami is a different fish. I think, but as I've always said, I've always been a big proponent of Nami. But one thing that I've always said about Nami players, support players who want to pick up that champion, is that Nami is a lot of people tend to think at the standard level that Nami is a very passive champion.
We'll have to talk about that in a second. 300.
Oh.
He's getting chased. Burns his flash. That's not a good way to start out the game for VG.S and EP.C marching forward to try and get themselves something, but only find a ward.
Yeah, and I'm going to refresh my stream to catch up with you. But as I mentioned before, Nami is... Oh my goodness, I have to refresh again. But Nami is a champion that can be a very, that has a really high playmaking ability in the right situation, in the hands of the right support. So the question is 300 a top-tier support? And if he is, does he have enough experience on that Nami? I think I'm significantly behind you in stream right now, but hopefully we can make do. I'm currently at 1 minute and 6 seconds.
Yeah, you're a little bit behind on that one. That's okay.
Okay.
We'll see.
I'll try to make it work.
We can get that synced up. But in the meanwhile, everything's starting out a little bit more normal after that early deep ward placement nearly picking off 300. The flash burn is still worth, since they didn't end up trading any of their own summoners for it. And now VG is going for a bit of a late invade carry and Aimi around the side, but Supercat Buping taking no chances. They are seen out by this. Love Letter and V are there. It means a lane swap's going to come in.
We obviously have the ping wheel, right? But which of those pings do you think is the boo ping?
Oh, I think it's like the one that's like right in between like danger and enemy missing.
Okay, word. That's what I was thinking too. I just wanted to get your expertise.
See boo ping until the last second,
yeah.
and then
you really
don't.
You. Especially in this case. I mean, Boo Ping, all he wants to do is he's going to ward up, and I think it's a really interesting decision for the side of Energy Pacemaker carries to, to start the lane switch, and it's really risky.
Yeah,
for
but now you have Supercat in the mid. Hello, what's going on here? Roaming supports are, of course, something very popular. The 300 is actually getting in the business of V and Buping, trying to go for the blue steal. He's getting poked out. That's going down. Buping takes it anyways. This game is all sorts of unmarked aggression.
Right, and I mean, it's really interesting that Love Letter should head to the top lane because obviously, AD carries in this, back in the previous meta when before the Dragon Gold was buffed, AD carries, Corki was a very popular top lane pick, and that's because he could duel very effectively enemy top laners. But, just lane swaps in general aren't very strong at the moment. Additionally, if you have a champion like Corki, then you should be expected to win, especially with that Braum that took Ignite to help you, win lane. So this is really telling, and we discussed before how the members, I'm sure the members of Energy Pacemaker carries and VG Gaming S understand the fact that Sins is an all-star at the AD carry position. This guy has been called a top 5 Chinese AD carry for a long time. So they might this might be their way of just trying to not give him any quarter and not let him make any plays.
It's true, but I'm still questioning a little bit the Nami pickup just because Nami's kind of difficult for Chinese players in general to figure out just because they want to be very aggressive instead of the picks. 300 has been especially good at this. We saw earlier on both of his Thresh games. But Nami is more of a defensive focus support in general. It's hard to poke with. The tidal wave is not exactly the greatest engagement tool. Seems like it's a bit of a strange pick.
Yeah, I mean, Nami is an appealing tool, and obviously, when you have a champion like Tristana, and, V is on the Dr. Mundo, and Boo Ping is on the Rengar, then there's very little chance, especially in the first 30 minutes of the game, but in the late game as well, that the enemy front line on the side of Energy Pacemaker carries is going to get, is going to be able to assault the back line effectively. What that means is that should Avenger be able to stall out any particular skirmish long enough for him to survive through the initial burst provided by the Rengar Mundo combo, then he's going to be an absolute monster and be able to clean up team fights, especially as he gets more and more resets. And Sins and 300, speaking of those two, are freezing this lane pretty fantastically.
That's actually pretty amazing considering the Tristana pickup too. It's really hard to freeze a lane when you're on Trist. Now V and Supercat are doing the double in the bot side, so they're going to be able to hold out for this one. That's a lot of sustain, however they have no real answer with the poke game, and that's Chodi and Emmy making an effort there, but it gets spotted out very quickly by the pink ward, and they back away from it, or try rather. It's going to be a scout of the week to stun up V, and they're going forward. Emmy wants to make a kill here. It's only level 3. Chodi is 5. and they don't have enough damage to finish the job. However, they will go for the 4v0 push. Or will they? Back into the jungle. Now we have the dragon being started up. It's 6 minutes in. VG Gaming looking to make a power play onto this dragon. Not incredibly early by Chinese standards, but they are able to pick it off with a combination of juggling the aggro and zero knowledge from EP.C. Looks like my co-caster is having some technical difficulties, so for the time being, I'll take over solo carry. Chasing out Love Letter in the top side. And that's 300 and Bu Ping. Just having a little bit of ward fights with each other. Everything else pretty much safe right now. 300 on the roam. See if they can make something else happen. Here comes Super Cat, even up the score on the top lane.
Yeah, and sorry, please bear with me, audience, as I try to get through these difficulties. But, the other instance where VG Gaming S, Energy Peacemaker carries decided not to contest the first two dragons, and where VG Gaming S were able to grab, the free early objective gold within the first 15 to 20 minutes of the game, was when VG Gaming S so handily stomped the members of EP.C, right? So this is probably a very good sign for them, VG Gaming is looking very strong. They're now in possession of about a 1K gold lead, and considering the fact that they're only 7 minutes in, and with this kind of composition that they have, I think they're looking really, really comfortable right now.
Yeah. I think that they are hitting a nice groove, slight lead in their favors, and that's going to be the tower taken down by Sin, so they're going for the chase on. Nice dodge out of the Aqua Prison. Sins, however, has the jump forward, and V running for his life right now. He's not 6 yet, so he can't use his ultimate. He'll instead burn his flash to get back to the safety. Tower number 2.
Yeah, I'm basically shoutcasting off of what you're saying right now.
Well, let's even this off. Actually, we'll take ourselves a quick pause in this, so just bear with us for just a second as we try to sync ourselves up. So
okay, what time are you at right now?
About 8 minutes.
Okay, I'm at 7:45. Sorry about this, folks.
No, it's okay. We actually evened it out just about. So I think we're back to 7:45 again. So we'll get to see some of that action going forward again. But basically,
I'm at 8 minutes right.
Yeah, it's pretty nice and even for both teams. But that power swing for Vici with the tower does mean that they have a little bit more map control on their side.
Yeah, and that's really good, especially since, for Sins, obviously you want to put as much pressure on the enemy as you can, and that's why this blue buff take is so important. And, okay, that's actually really critical. So,
whoa, hello. Yeah,
my
that's
goodness.
Bu Ping getting locked up, but they don't have the follow-through.
Yeah, so I'm actually a little bit ahead of you now, but I'll pause on my own time. So that was really critical because on the side of Energy Peacemaker carries, there isn't a lot of wave clear, and the primary sources of wave clear come from Jiaosu. Now, Jiaosu has very low mana, and has very low mana, so he's not going to be able to clear waves forever. And basically, so just a really nice small advantage coming out from the side of EP.C. For the side of VG Gaming S, it's really the small advantages. When you have a late game team composition like they do, it's really the small advantages that matter, and the small advantages are what's going to help you scale into the late game.
Yeah, see considering the scaling is pretty dead even on both sides, they need that little advantage. Whoa, Bu Ping going on to Shodi. That is dodging out of the shockwave, but he still goes down. Bu Ping getting himself a kill. That's first blood. That's 9 minutes.
Yeah, really, really well done. I mean, how many times have we seen not just Chinese teams, but North American teams, Korean teams, European teams attempt to effectively utilize that Orianna Rengar combination, and just a really nice heads-up kill. And it looks like Carrie's going to come on the other side right now.
Oh, yeah,
wow, he's level 6.
Jishu's in a world of hurt, locked up behind the members of VG Gaming, in that sense. Can he get avenged? Yes, he can. Jishu goes down. 9.5 minutes. 9:45, rather. And they even the score. Once again, Vici with the collapse. This time, they did a pretty good job on that, I'd say.
Yeah. And so, I mean, we're at exactly 10 minutes into the game. VG Gaming S is in firm control of a 1,000k gold lead, and it looks like Emmy's going for a play. Really nice.
There's the jump in. Bu Ping could go down. Emmy's taking a lot of damage from the tower, though. He's going to fall down. Super Cat And that's Sans. Oh, he's in the wrong place. Has to burn his flash. That is how you use a Nami ult. And Avenger stays alive. Very, very barely.
Really well played tidal wave. First of all, and we also see, a nice teleport coming out from Carry to collect the wave in the bottom lane. I mean, things are going perfectly for VG.S right now, despite the fact that they're only leading 3 kills to 2. They're already in possession of a 1.5k gold lead.
Well, they have honestly, map pressure on their side too.
Yeah, that was really well played. Amy giving up his life. We mentioned before when Amy first locked in Lee Sin with the first pick in the draft. We mentioned that Amy, as opposed to what Booping likes to do, Amy's he really wants to make plays. He doesn't mind giving up his life as long as his, solo laners get fed, and that's what he did right there. And a really nice kick in. VG.S was able to grab 2 kills and put themselves ahead in the kill score, because it was 1-2 before that sequence of events. And I hope this is not another bug splat.
I hope this is as well, or hope this is not as well. This could be a bit of a problem. 300, however, coming up the side with Sin. So the lane swap is kind of gone back to that, and it looks like we did have a pause or a crash. We'll see what ends up resulting in that one. Actually, it's a full-on stream crash. That's not good.
The stream has crashed for me as well.
We're going to have to take a quick break, guys. Sorry about the technical difficulties, but we will be taking a quick break as Hubo exhales a sigh of exasperation. What can only be described as exasperation, guys. We'll be back, but you are, of course, watching the Demacia Cup. Hopefully we can get it back. We'll be right back.
这边
就是进行
不知道钱够不够出破败。
对，只能打个石头人去捕杀发育。目前
Yo, I'm eating Fun Dip right now. Not giving a fuck.
Okay, there we go. There we go. There were a few technical issues, guys. Thanks for standing by with us as we immediately see Sen's getting himself a kill and falling down to Buping. We had some problems on the stream side, and apologies for those difficulties, but we're back into game. VG Gaming, yes, taking on Energy Pacemaker Carry. It's game number 3, And the show is getting on the road, 6-11 in kills now, 21, approaching 22 minutes. And VG Gaming S definitely behind in the gold and pretty much everything else.
And my stream, oh god. Okay, yeah, and I'm still having problems with my stream, but yeah, it definitely looks like it's 11 kills to 6 at the 22 5-second minute mark. You know, we talked about before how Energy Pacemaker carries, the goal of their composition was to fight at early objectives and to make sure that they got their carries fed, and it looks like that's what happened. You know, Corky is a very strong champion in the early game, especially, you know, between 15 and 25 minutes, and it looks like Love Letter just went ham. You know, he was 4-1-5 right now. We said in the last game, Energy Pacemaker carries V was basically the biggest reason why EP.C won that game too, and he's 3-1-3. So the players who need to be fed right now are very much so. Is the long story short, and I think that they're looking like they're in a good, feeling very comfortable right now. The problem might be that Shyvana has a very hard time getting onto a champion like Corky, so you have to wonder whether carry has been effective. He is, of course, 0-3-2, so hopefully we'll see some more team fights soon.
Yeah, it's definitely been swinging in his way so far, and comparatively, Sins has not really been quite as big, although he does have the power spike he's looking for. He decides to go for the static Shiv second. Of course, we've seen a lot of Tristanas do the opposite and go for that instead of the eye edge, but because of this, it'll delay his power spike. Well, rather, it won't give him the earlier one, but the earlier wave clear, rather. But it's still going to be really scary come the late game regardless. So they're in pretty good shape to take these fights, but they're still in a little bit of a gold deficit, and they have to start being able to control the objectives right now. So everybody from VG is really just looking for picks at the moment. I don't think they want to take the 5v5 like you were mentioning.
Yeah, 3,000 gold really isn't that big of a deal, especially given the fact that VG Gaming S scales so well into the late game. But, you know, obviously, so I actually think that the pressure is more on EP.C to try to close this game, because if you have a Shyvana, you know, Avenger on that, if you have a Dr. Mundo, Avenger on that Tristana will be able to effectively deal with V's Dr. Mundo. I have full confidence in his abilities. So, really, it's about EP.C trying to snowball this lead, and right now it doesn't look like they're making that many moves. The ward coverage doesn't seem to be that good. In fact, VG Gaming S's own side of the jungle is completely dominated with their own, you know, green and pink wards. So EP.C really has to push the line of vision control up and make sure that they completely starve this members of VG Gaming S with resources, because they have an early game composition and they're hitting their power spike right now. They need to make the moves to win the game.
Carry can turn these fights if they do get up to taking the straight 5v5, but VG has been very slippery. They're not wanting to let themselves get caught in this, and as everything kind of settles into a lull, there's a lot of vision here, and nobody is going to get any fast ones pulled, I don't think. VG can stall this out for a while if they need to. The problem is they have, with the exception of Tristana, kind of an earlier game comp.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when you had, like I said before, I think it's really important to focus on the AD carries right now. When you do have Avenger on that, sorry, I'm taking care of difficulties. When you do have Avenger on an AD carry like Tristana, especially with, you know, he now has the static shift, he'll be able to clear waves extremely, extremely quickly. So, I mean, when there's hope. That's all I'm trying to say. There's a lot of hope for VG Gaming S. And in advance, I'm very sorry if we're sounding very hesitant right now. We're just dealing with loads of technical issues. And we blame Tencent Games, as always.
Always blaming Tencent. Oh, hello. There's the initiation that they were looking for, but they get pushed right on back. A lot spent there, including 300's ult. Yeah, that just happened. They could not get anything denied.
Yeah, so a really nice tidal wave coming out from 300, making sure that the members of Energy Pacemaker carries didn't try anything fancy and go on to Sins, who's been zoning at the majority of this team right here. I mean, you know, obviously he feels like he feels the need to carry this team, but you know, standing so close to the enemy top laners might not be the right decision. And luckily, 300 was able to bail him out with a really nice non-meal in that situation.
And it wasn't just that, too. They tried to go for the secondary, and then Shodi is just like, nope, scat of the week, bye-bye. They have a really good disengage. However, it's not going to be enough to really get them ahead because this Dragon going down for free. Love Letter and Booping double timing up on it. And as we hit 27 minutes even, Energy Pacemaker has a clear advantage in that they are taking better objectives, more objectives. Focus Aimi, however, looking to try and find a catch, but it's Super Cat. You can't take that guy down. He's already got his face finished, although 300 certainly trying to make a go of it.
Yeah, I mean, Super Cat is just really strong right now. And, you know, just look at the kill participation. Super Cat is 2, 1, and 5 on that Braum. Essentially 70, like a little under 70% kill participation, so...
Baron's getting taken already. Vici making a bold move. They know they have the vision control here,
but they have to do.
They don't have that much a choice, but they might have to back out of this one. Aimi's taking a lot. They don't have the burst potential. They know there's no V there. 300 and Carry are trying to stall this out. It's going down. It's going to be a close one, though. And oh my god, it gets smarted away. Stolen by Boo Ping. And they turn up the gas. Tidal Wave coming out just to slow him up. But Super Cat is on the chase, getting pushed away with the Buster Shot. Aimi going down. Thank you very much. We'll take that, Baron, says Energy Pacemaker, as they look to pick up more kills. Shodi, he's falling down. Super Cat getting the credit on the last hit there. Since running for his life, got nowhere to go. Down he goes. And they take themselves 3 kills, maybe more, just with that Baron. Energy Pacemaker are looking to make this statement here. And after game number 1, I didn't think it was possible, Soldra, but they really answered up. They get a 4th kill. 300 going down. It's only Carry left. Aimi comes back up. Soldier, this has just been a complete rout right there.
I mean, this is a disaster for the side of VG Gaming S. You know, they shouldn't have felt that much pressure to go for the Baron. It really did make a lot of sense. And I need to remind you, this is the second time in 3 games that Booping has actually, you know, gone hero mode and stole a Baron. It actually looked like because Carry was able to distract them, you know, lead them to one side of the map, and then used Dragon's Descent over the wall while 300 was zoning out with his Tidal Wave with his with the bubble, sorry. You know, it looked like for a moment that VG Gaming S would be able to secure that Baron, but I mean, Booping just with a really nice hero flash in, smites away the Baron.
That's why it's a 50-50.
It was cleanup time from there. I mean, a 9,000 gold lead at this point is almost insurmountable. I mean, it's really tough.
Baron. Really, for Vici.
No, but that's my point. Even though, you know, Shodi and Carry might be playing the quote unquote, you know, early game champions, but really, when you have an 80 carry like Tristana and they have an 80 carry on their side like Corki, you shouldn't feel that much pressure to go for the desperate moves. Really, I don't understand the train of thought coming out from EP.C. All VG.S had to do was ward their side of the jungle.
Yep. Aimi going a little deep in there, but he comes back. They call that hero mode as opposed to ham.
Yeah, that was a really weird interaction, actually.
It was very strange displacement. Lovely.
You know, and so, as I was saying before, VG Gaming S had already been warding their side of the jungle very, very well. All they had to do was spot out the rotations coming out from Energy Pacemaker carries and get your Syndra, get your Static Shiv, Tristana into that lane and make sure that she's clearing waves all day. I mean, they had such a good answer to what Energy Pacemaker carries wanted to bring because the Tower Siege wasn't that good coming from the side
Speaking
of EP.C.
Tower Siege, they're going for this one. Carry goes in. They don't have the damage follow-up, and now the dive goes in. Carry's going down, and the Shockwave. Big ball lands onto everybody from Vici Gaming as 3 members down. 4's going to be in just a second. 300. He can't hold the line. Martin. And he's going to fall down, trading for Love Letter in the back. Those Sins get something for his money. But this is going to be inhibitor number 1. And I don't know if Sins can hold the line here. This might be the end of the game. V flashing forward like he means it, and that's the surrender vote. Vici Gaming S takes the tap out as game number 3 goes over to Energy Pacemaker Carry as they move forward into the round of 8.
What a disappointing series of losses. 2 straight losses after a really demanding and really explosive win coming out from Vici Gaming S, and they just faltered against Energy Pacemaker carries. And it wasn't like Vici Gaming S was misplaying. I think there were a lot of bad team fights. A lot of members got caught out, even in the first game where Vici Gaming S had so dominatingly routed the members of Energy Pacemaker carries. A lot of members of that team, a lot of members of the teams would get cut out at really random moments in the game. And so, and the ward coverage was good. It just looks like Energy Pacemaker carries they reacted to the decision making of VG.S very well, and it's really unfortunate. But EP.C will take the set and earn a berth against either Invictus Gaming or Starhorn Road Club, despite my love of Avenger. And it looks like we're gonna find out who.
Love was not enough, Soldier.
Yeah, we're gonna find out who
the skills to pay the bills. Yeah, we'll see who they play next. At long last, we're gonna get to see Invictus Gaming taking on Starhorn Royal Club. Guys, don't go anywhere. You're watching the Demacia Cup, and we will be right back with the game we know you've all been waiting for.